Broadcasting live from the heart of the continental United States and sailing the steel breeze of the World Wide Web, it's Thursday night, time for the Nexus. Shalom, everybody. Thank you for joining us once more on this beautiful Thursday evening here in the wonderful Sunflower State. There we go, back on there of Kansas. Glad to have you here. Thanks. I'm James at the Idol Smasher and Orphans of Abraham on Facebook. We're not on X. I don't know why. We almost weren't going to be on YouTube. It didn't want to stream there either. That's why we have a late stream. I couldn't get any live streams out on any other platforms because we are here on X and YouTube as well as broadcasting from a Rumble studio. And tonight is a holiday. Tonight is a celebration. Tonight we begin Shavuot. This is the celebration of the giving of Torah at Mount Sinai. And it's 2 days. It's tonight and through Shabbat tomorrow. And it's not like another Jewish holiday you might know of. You know, Hanukkah is 8 days. You have Passover and 8 days after that. And from what I understand, it's 8 days prior to when you got to clean the house. Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur is, there's some length to it, and there's a lot to do, and there's a lot of planning. There's a lot of different foods, and Sukkot. That's a whole ordeal in and of itself. But on Shavuot, there are no that I can find. There's not much more you can do on the celebration of the giving of Torah at Mount Sinai than studying Torah. And that's the celebration. In fact, I think it's one tradition where the Jewish people actually stay up all night and read Torah. No kidding. So tonight's a celebration. I'm off of work, and it's about time. So I want to celebrate with everybody tonight. This is a delicious kosher brew. It is not as good as the original. They fixed it up after the pandemic and all that, and trade routes. They used to have a special German hop that they would use for Samuel Adams Boston Lager. A bit hoppier for a lot of people, but I personally like it. So pour that. And yes, it is certified kosher. This is good stuff. So, but yeah, tonight we'll look at the Torah portion for this week. It's Exodus 19 and 20. And I was looking at a video by Manus Freeman earlier, and he's like, this is when, the wake-up call that it's time to grow up now. When you're a child, you experience the world as a child. You go out in it, tasting everything, picking up everything, drooling on everything and anybody, going up and taking food off people's plates, petting a dog too hard. You just go out in the world and discover. And that in many ways was us. The human race, I should say. For the first 2,000 years, that's what we were doing. 3 hairs away from Neanderthal, sure, but we had an awareness. And this is the time we celebrate tonight when God lets us know that we're going to have to grow up. And we've been through our adolescence right now, and our pubescence is what we've been going through, in my opinion. And now we're at the point now where we're just about to adulthood. What does Torah give us that we weren't given before? A much more complex and completed law. The 7 laws are still incumbent on all Hebrews and anybody on the planet, technically, because that's the covenant. Who is Abraham's great grandfather, along with Moses and all 12 tribes, 13. Who was it? It's Noah. Noah is our great grandfather, and he got the law first, and he got it to us. But then it needed to be fine-tuned. You had to be, you had to have mentors. You go through a stage of apprenticeship where you must learn from someone more experienced and whatnot. And that's when Israel becomes truly the nation of kings and priests. Not a whole bunch of kings at once. It's one king at a time. Mashiach starts that. Messiah is what begins that dynasty. And priests when they will guide humanity. And they don't guide humanity. Torah guides humanity. They provide the Torah. It's never about the Jewish people, really, in the end. It's about Torah. It's about God. It's about how he wants us to live on this planet, his plan. And, you can stand in the water and punch waves as the tide comes in. You can fight it or you can surf it, one way or another. You get a couple of choices there. You can surf it or you can punch waves and stand it and do everything you can to block it, like a lot of people do today. But it is we are marking a time in this history, and it's always nice to look at what we're doing in our parsha, in our reading, and then look to the world and what's going on. And here in the States, um, Thomas Massey lost. And if there's anything this is hopeful for, is that when Thomas Massey, who I didn't mind, I kind of liked in a lot of ways, and Ron Paul moved me to no end back in the day. I didn't think that maybe four other people in the world knew what a constitution was at the time, because few people in my circles were even cared about that sort of thing. And but I did, and he inspired me, and I do like his son to an extent. They I'm not sure I'm going to agree with all of them because of just the way things are happening now. I think Rand is a far smarter and more intelligent, refined human being than Thomas Massey. But Thomas Massey and a bunch of other people, they've just got to go on the anti-Israel crowd. It's like the new thing. And it happened, and they started this. This is when Soros gets in your head, and the whole bunch of them, the anti-God bunch, which is what it really is. They're anti-God. They don't. That's why they don't like anybody. I mean, they're shooting up mosques now. Okay, not happy with mosques. They want to gobble up the world and crap on it. That's their job. And as a Muslim, you have to kill everybody not like you and eliminate them and hate them. You can love them in your heart, but you got to hate them with your sword if they're not going to submit to what you say is Islam. Because even Muslims will fight amongst each other. But this whole thing, this anti-God thing, it's anti-Jewish now. That's what it is. It's the Christian superiority coming out, the insecurity of those like Candace Owens and the Hodge twins and Nick Fuentes and little hands, but something's going on there, right? And Thomas Massey, just in his concession speech, they're saying, that AIPAC bought the election. Like the 1% or less of Jewish people living in Kentucky bought the election. Like none of the actual votes mattered. And now online all day, Facebook today, we are getting punished. They are putting out a lot of stuff, just hating. If you don't support Thomas Massey, you love pedophiles and all this jazz and all this zhush, this nonsense. What it tells you is that the influencers on here who talk big and have a big audience that can be easily purchased. They were trying to get me to purchase back on the YouTube channel a long time ago. Wanted me to purchase likes. I didn't do it. It can be done. All these likes, all these views, all this influence, and yet when you go to a turnout like in Kentucky, there where Thomas Massey had a huge online recognition, everybody paid attention to him, even if you didn't like him, and he didn't pan out at all. You can say it was because Trump endorsed his opponent, quite possibly. You can say it's because AIPAC bought it. They didn't, or maybe, just maybe, the internet isn't real life. Maybe it's not real life, and maybe the amount of Jew hatred that they want to put on Americans, because the only place I hear Jew hatred really, really is online. I don't hear it out on the street. I don't hear it at work. I don't hear it from my customers. I don't hear it from my coworkers. I don't hear it anywhere else I go. I don't see any. I mean, once in a while you'll get some schmuck in a kifa, cafe, whatever that thing is, the wannabe, not the one from Iraq, uh, the Palestinian one. Yeah, you get all kinds, but I never hear it. But online, it's almost like it's real. And I think that comes across to a lot of people who don't live here, who aren't in the heartland or anywhere else besides New York and LA, and Dearborn. It's not really like that. So it might be good news all around. It might be good news all around. But this is what these people do. They walked into these are people at a mosque. They got weird beliefs. Okay, you don't like them. They can say some stuff that I'm going to stand against, but they have the freedom to peacefully assemble. And when they peaceably assemble to worship God, even in their way, the one guy who died was a security officer. He died with honor. I don't care if he's a Muslim or not. He was protecting his own, and you can respect that from an unprovoked attack. I wouldn't say unprovoked, but unprovoked attack. You need to shoot those people. They go for your weakest. You know, they're like the people who stormed the church, or the kid who shot people up while they're in church. These whack jobs, they always go, they're Amalek is what they are. Amalek is the nation sworn to exterminate the Jewish people back during the journey after a journey to Sinai, I believe. And they always picked on the children and the women or the elderly. Whoever, anybody who was riding in the back, they went for the weakest first. They had no army to speak of, so they can't face, the Israelite legions and the mixed multitude with them head on. No, they have to go in the back and get all the stragglers. And that's what these people do. That's what these Marxist whack jobs do. They always go for the weakest. They always go for the hind end. They always go for low hanging fruit, I guess you could say. And shooting people up for going to church or going to temple, going to mosque. And here's the funny thing is all the libertarian pages and all the Massey supporters are saying it's time to vote Democrat and show those Republicans what they've done wrong. You will show them by voting Democrat. And they'll never. Yeah. So what your freedom loving, small government BS utopian libertarian bullcrap is telling me that if you don't get your way with one dude in one seat in one seat in Congress, the House, not even the Senate, then you're going to go side with them. You're telling your supporters, you're telling your fellow to go vote Marxist. If that doesn't tell you libertarianism is dead as a can of spam, well, libertarianism is dead as a can of spam. It's over. Ron Paul did a great thing 20 years ago. He ran for president. And he said some stuff that Americans really needed to hear, and gave an attitude that we really needed to be reminded of. And that's all in good. It's a different world now, isn't it? We'll never stop being post 9/11, but it's a different world. So, Trump's not doing so bad. He's getting some more flack for this ballroom, which looks incredible. It looks amazing. It's huge. It's kind of that Greco-Roman feel that the Smithsonian already has, and people are against it, and they're going to find a way to stop him. We have. It's not even being paid from taxpayer money. It's his own and private donations. You know what that ballroom means? Hospitality. What was Abraham, the one man that God calls friend throughout the Tanakh? What was he known for? Hospitality. He circumcised himself. He sees three men walking away, and he goes out and prostrates himself. There's sand out there. He was recovering, and he saw the opportunity to bring people in, to accommodate them, and make them a meal. He was the most hospitable man on the planet. He planted an orchard and dug a well for just so wayfarers could have a place to be. He wasn't going to be there in charge entrance. He wasn't going to make you listen to, the teachings of Noah or anything like that. He set it up because he wanted to make the world a better place. He was hospitable. This ballroom shows a great, huge hospitality that we've never really been able to show before, that many other countries have. You had Versailles. You've got all these places, but America never really had a place that could really genuinely show honor and respect and a good time and beauty and gorgeosity and officiality and all the pomp and circumstance and all that stuff. Trump's allowing that. It's hospitality, man. That's a good thing. That's a beautiful thing. It's a wonderful thing. It's too bad we don't do more of it. Hospitality, having friends over, having family over, hosting a meal. Hospitality. The one man God calls friend. So it's time we grow up. We've been children. We've been rebellious and whiny little gripes, and it happens. But it's time for us to grow up as a species. Perhaps we're making a bigger deal, or perhaps we're making a better, more positive effect on the world lately as Americans. We just stopped. We got a couple things to clean up, I know, but we just stopped a massive problem over there in the Middle East, and no one seems to mind. I don't see anybody really protesting. I heard Russian platitudes. That's kind of what you get out of Russians when it comes to politics. We're going to say the right thing, but we don't care. We're going to say what people want us to say, but we don't care. China didn't seem to mind, and everyone's giving crap. I'm sorry, I don't mean to say that. Hey, giving crap to Trump about the Chinese people. We don't realize just how entwined we are. Our two countries are. Yes, we're rivals, but we have far more going with each other right now than we in Russia. I dare say we in anywhere in Europe. We're pretty tangled up with them. We're kind of their partners in a lot of ways. They're ripping us off, and we allowed them because Americans are uninformed and always look for the best in people in a lot of ways. Now we look for the worst lately, and now the Jews bought out Thomas Massey's seat. That is just funny. He bought. Oh, they might bust up. The Jews bought the vote. It wasn't that It wasn't that he went against everything President Trump was trying to get through. Well, that's going to cost too much money to get that done. So no, I'm not going to vote for it, even though we need it. Close the borders, What else was he trying to do that he just wouldn't go along with? And he went off on Israel. He didn't care about, what's the man's name? Epstein. Didn't care about that. Didn't even bring it up till 2025 and ran on it and ran himself into the ground. So, but let's get to some Torah reading. Let's get to some study tonight. If I can remember how to do this. All right, is that what we're going to do? Entire screen? All right, here we go. Here we go. Am I sharing yet? Can't tell if I'm sharing it. No, maybe not. Let's see. If we go over here. There's the old infinity mirror of the internet. Okay. Today we're going to I have the Chabad out here, and that's because it gives nice Rashi's commentaries. You can see, you just hit that little button when you go to reading anything at Chabad.org. They give you a little Rashi's commentary, and you get some of an explanation, sort of a mystical take on what's being read here. I've always enjoyed the mystical aspect of everything because I grew up in martial arts, which is a very mystical teaching, believe it or not. So it was very easy to discover Kabbalah and see something in it. But I'm going to read from you. We're going to read from the mechanmamre.org website. This is 2 chapters in Exodus. This is the giving of Torah at Mount Sinai. One of the most world-changing events. I know I'm not Jewish, and I know that you watching likely aren't Jewish either. We should still celebrate this day because it was a big day. This is the oldest anti-slavery document on the planet. It's the beginning of the idea of self-governance, and the king and the vagabond, or the king and the slave, even the maid manservant, are under one law. And all men are created equal, even the king. So, with Hashem's help, l'chaim. Let's get some new eyeballs in. Got some new glasses in, of course. Didn't clean them before I got on here. All right. Give me a quick wipe down. All right. Exodus chapter 19. In the 3rd month after the children of Israel were gone forth out of the land of Egypt, the same day they came into the wilderness of Sinai. And when they were departed from Rephidim, and they come to the wilderness of Sinai, they encamped in the wilderness, and there Israel encamped before the mount. And Moses went up unto God, and the Lord called unto him out of the mountain, saying, Thus shalt you say to the house of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel, Ye have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bore you on eagle's wings, and brought you unto myself. Now, therefore, if we will hearken unto my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then ye shall be mine own treasure from among all peoples, for all the earth is mine. And ye shall be known unto me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel. And Moses came and called for the elders of the people, and set before them all these words which the Lord commanded him. And all the people answered together and said, All that the Lord hath spoken we will do. And Moses reported the words of the people unto the Lord. And the Lord said unto Moses, Lo, I come unto thee in a thick cloud, that the people may hear when I speak with thee, and may also believe thee forever. Moses told the words of the people unto the Lord. You have to forgive me, I've had a back issue and steroids. I hiccup even when there's nothing in my stomach or whatever, so I've been hiccuping a lot lately. You'll have to forgive me on this. It's this my first time on steroids too. It makes you all jumpy and stuff, but my back feels a lot better. Okay, back to Sinai. And the Lord said unto Moses, Go unto the people and sanctify them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their garments, and be ready against the third day. For the third day the Lord will come down in the sight of all the people upon Mount Sinai. And thou shalt set bounds unto the people round about, saying, Take heed to yourselves, that ye may not go up unto the mount, nor touch the border of it. Whosoever touches the mountain shall be surely put to death. No hand shall touch him, but he shall surely be stoned or shot through, whether it be beast or man. It shall not live. When the ram's horn soundeth long, they shall come up to the mountain. And Moses went down from the mount unto the people, and sanctified the people, and they washed their garments. And he said unto the people, Be ready against the third day, come not near a woman. And it came to pass on the third day, when it was morning, that there were thunders and lightnings and a thick cloud upon the mount, and the voice of a horn exceeding loud, and all the people were in the camp, and all the people that were in the camp trembled. And Moses brought forth the people out of the camp to meet God, and they stood at the nether part of the mountain. Now Sinai was altogether in smoke, because the Lord descended upon it in fire, and the smoke thereof ascended as the smoke of a furnace, and the whole mount quaked greatly. And when the voice of the horn waxed louder and louder, Moses spoke, and God answered him by a voice. And the Lord came down upon Mount Sinai to the top of the mount, and the Lord called Moses to the top of the mount, and Moses went up. And the Lord said unto Moses, Go down, charge the people, lest they break through unto the Lord to gaze, and many of them perish. And let the priests also that come near to the Lord sanctify themselves, lest the Lord break forth upon them. And Moses said unto the Lord, The people cannot come up the mount of Sinai, for thou didst charge us, saying, Set bounds about the mount, and sanctify it. And the Lord said to him, Go, get thee down, and thou shalt come up, thou and Aaron with thee. But let not the priests and the people break through to come up to the Lord, lest he break forth upon them. So Moses went down unto the people and told them. And God spoke all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, who brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee a graven image, or any manner of likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or is in the earth beneath, or in the waters underneath the earth. Thou shalt not bow down unto them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto the 1,000th generation of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the Lord's name, thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless and taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day, to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is a Sabbath unto the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any manner of work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor the stranger that is within the gates, the convert garish, the Noahide, if you will. Ger is what it is. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and rested on the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Thou shalt not murder, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is in thy neighbor's. And all the people perceived the thunderings and the lightnings and the voice of the horn and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they trembled and stood afar off. They said unto Moses, Speak thou with us, and we will hear, but let not God speak with us, lest we die. And Moses said unto the people, Fear not, for God is come to prove you, and that his fear may be upon you, that ye sin not. And the people stood afar off, but Moses drew near unto the thick darkness where God was. And the Lord said unto Moses, Thus thou shalt say unto the children of Israel, Ye yourselves have seen that I have talked with you from heaven. You shall not make with me gods of silver, gods of gold, ye shall not make unto you. An altar of the earth shall you make up unto me, and shalt sacrifice thereon thy burnt offerings and thy peace offerings, thy sheep, thine oxen, in every place where I cause my name to be mentioned, I will come unto thee and bless thee. And if thou make me an altar of stone, thou shalt not build it out of hewn stones, for if thou lift up thy any tool upon it, thou hast profaned it. Neither shalt you go up by steps unto mine altar, that thy nakedness be not uncovered thereon. It's all right there. Something interesting I always found about this line here, and because there seems to be repetition, it's like God's trying to tell you something. There seems to be repetition when you hear verse 3. And Moses went up to God, and the Lord called unto him out of the mountain, saying, Thus shalt thou say to the house of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel. When I go over here, I checked out what Rashi said. The house of Jacob, Rashi says, these are the women. Say the lesson to them in a gentle form of speech. Tell them the outlines and the commandments and the rewards for their observance. God always speaks to women in a very soft, calm, rational tone, and the woman listens. But men, and relate to the sons of Israel, i.e., specify to the men the punishments and details of the commandments, things that are as harsh as the bitter herb named Gideon. He has to get real sharp with us, men, doesn't he? You can speak calmly to a woman, tell her she's going to get it. Only has to say it once. Men, not so much. Women get it easy sometimes in Torah. But another thing that's interesting is you have seen that I have spoken. I've heard often translated. They perceived the words as they were spoke. They visually perceived the words as they spoke, almost like a blending of the senses, I guess. This is when mankind was let know you're going to grow up now. Okay, lollipops and teeter totters, not anymore. It's time to grow up, and people are listening. They listen now more than they ever had before. More people are studying Torah than they have been since the days of Hezekiah, from what I'm hearing. And it's not just the Jewish people; it's non-Jews, people like me, and many of us out there who've, I was a wandering seeker. I had a church background, but those who come out of idolatry and come out of that, and go to the Torah and go to the God of Israel and pray to Hashem. There's a lot of us. It's happening now. We are in the middle of something incredibly special. There's not a better time you could ever want to be alive in history, because what you're witnessing here is the fulfillment of all Jewish prophecy. And the chips are going to fall where they may, and it's not going to be nice. A lot of it's going to have to go away. It's going to be kind of a humbling, gut wrenching experience. Their mouths will be agape with their hands over, like, oh, that's what. I mean, they're going to be astounded. They're going to know. What is it? They come to the Jewish people. Our forefathers have been taught not but lies, where their lie is no profit. Our forefathers were taught none but lies. The nations come unto Israel saying this. We're already there. We're already there. And not a better time to be alive, baby. Not a better time to be alive. People say, what is the proof of Torah? Torah is the proof itself. Torah is the proof. That's the evidence. There's nothing like it. There's nothing at all like it. No text is like this. No prophecy comes close. It's held the Jewish people together for 3,500 years, give or take. And pretty soon it's going to be there for the world, and not in the Christian sense where you get grafted in and it's going to be and everybody gets to participate in the law that nobody believes in, that they don't practice. We're grafted into the Jewish people, but we don't have to do any of that. I mean, hello. It's a special time. And the divide is there. If you want to wonder what I started out early talking about, the rampant anti-Semitism, it's implied. It's not real. I don't think it's organic. I think some of it is, sure, but I think a lot of it's implied upon the people. You can always judge a man by the quality of his enemies. And you can always judge the Jewish people by the quality of theirs. And that's just about going to do it here. I think that's about all we have to talk about this week. Let's see. There is a Haftarah. There is a Haftarah. Ezekiel chapter 1. And a few other things. And one other verse. Yeah, let's read. Let's do that. Let's do that. We'll do this. We'll give one more. Oh, yes. There it is. The infinity mirror. Okay. Yeah, let's read this. Ezekiel chapter 1. The Haftorah. Now, this isn't the normal Parsha read that we do, the scheduled read, because we're learning it. We're celebrating Shavuot, but usually the Haftorah is something directly relating to the Torah portion we just read, but isn't of Torah itself. And as I say, this week we are in Ezekiel. Now it came to pass in the 13th year, in the 4th month, on the 5th day of the month, as I was in the midst of the exile by the river Chebar, the heavens opened up, and I saw visions of God. On the 5th of the month, that is the 5th year of King Jehoiakim. Jehoiakim. I've heard that in Hebrew different. Jehoiakim's exile. My goodness. Forgive me. Correct me, please. If you're Jewish or you know the proper pronunciation, I prefer the Hebrew because I'm starting to see the problems otherwise. The word of the Lord was revealed to Ezekiel, the son of Buzi, the priest, in the land of the Chaldeans by the river of Chebar. And the hand of the Lord came upon him there. And I saw, and behold, a tempest was coming from the north, a huge cloud and a flaming fire, with a brightness around it, and from its midst it was like the color of the uh, cashmere from the midst of the fire. And from its midst was the likeness of 4 living beings, and this is their appearance. They had the likeness of a man, and each one had 4 faces, and each one had 4 wings, and their wings were a straight leg, and the soles of their feet were like a round foot, and they sparkled like the color of burnished copper. The human hands were beneath their wings and on the 4 sides, and their faces on their wings were the same to all 4 of them. The wings joined one to another; they did not turn. When they walked, each one would go toward the direction of his face. And the likeness of their faces was the face of a man. The face of a lion was on their right, to the 4 of them, and the face of an ox to their left, to the 4 of them, and the face of an eagle was to the 4 of them. And so were their faces, and their wings were extended upward. Each had 2 wings joined to each other, and 2 covering their bodies. Now each one would go toward the direction of its face. Wherever would be the will to go, they would go. They did not turn as they walked. And the likeness of the living beings, their appearance was like fiery coals, burning like the appearance of firebrands. It was going among the living being. It was going among the living beings, and there was brightness to the fire, and from the fire came forth lightning. And the living beings would run and return like the appearance of the sparks. And I saw the living beings, and behold, one wheel was on the ground beside the living beings for its 4 faces. The appearance of the wheels and their work was like the appearance of crystal, and the 4 of them had one likeness, and their appearance and their workings were as a wheel would be within a wheel. When they went toward their 4 sides. They did not turn when they went. And they had backs, and they were very high, and they were dreadful, and their eyebrows were full of eyes round and about. So it was to the 4 of them. And when the living beings would go, the wheels would go beside them. And when the living beings would lift themselves off the ground, the wheels would lift themselves. Wherever there was to go, they would go. There was the will to go, and the wheels would lift themselves correspondingly to them, for the will of the living beings was in the wheels. When the living beings would go, the wheels would go. And when they would stand, they would stand. And when they would lift themselves from the ground, the wheels would lift themselves correspondingly to them, for the will of the living beings was in the wheels. And there was a likeness over the heads of the living beings, of the expanse, like the color of the severe frost extent over their heads above. And beneath their expanse their wings were straight, one pointed toward the other. This one had 2 that covered to here, and that one had 2 that covered to their bodies. And I heard the sound of their wings, like the sound of many waters, like the voice of the Almighty when they went, the sound of stirring, like the sound of a camp. When they would stand, they would let down their wings. And there was a voice above the expanse that was over their heads. When they stood still, they would let down their wings. The above expanse was over their heads like the appearance of a sapphire stone, was the likeness of a throne, and on the likeness of the throne was the likeness like the appearance of a man upon it above. And I saw the color of the cashmere like the appearance of fire within it round about, from the appearance of his loins and above, and from the appearance of his loins and below. I saw a thing like the appearance of fire, and there was a brightness round about it, like the appearance of the rainbow, that is in the cloud on a rainy day, so was the appearance of the brightness round about. That was the appearance of the likeness of the glory of the Lord. And when I saw, I fell on my face, and I heard a voice speaking. Final verse from Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 12. And a wind lifted me up, and I heard behind me the sound of a great uproar. Blessed is the glory of the Lord from his place. Amen. And I thank you for joining me here this evening. We do this every Thursday. We're just going to get together and take some time to talk Torah. I might do an open hangout again here next week. We'll see how it goes. But always Thursdays, 8 p.m. Central, right here at the Nexus. I'm James at the Idol Smasher, and if you'd like to see me kind of spruce up the shack, it's not an actual shack. It's the corner of the house where I get to tinker with radios and talk to you, talk Torah. It's a radio shack that was actually named after the part of the ship when they built on a shack and could put radios in ships back then. That's how they got the name. So if you'd like to see it spruced up or maybe, get some more material or suggestions and whatnot, buymeacoffee.com/the Idol Smasher. Until next week, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. Shabbat Shalom. Happy Shavuot. Study your Torah, and we'll see you on the flip side.